everyone, Cake Nights here and welcome back to another video. So before we start, even though I will be talking about My Little Pony, this video is intended for a more mature audience, so viewer discretion is advised. Also, please don't tag anyone that's mentioned in today's video. That's the last thing I would want. Now that we have that out of the way, let's continue. Another day, another My Little Pony blog to show you guys. But what My Little Pony blog will I be showing you today, you may be asking? Well, I won't just be showing you one. Oh no. I'll be showing you two My Little Pony blogs, which are Vocational Death Cruise and Ask the Crusaders. And you have these commenters from my Discord Hoops video to thank for this video. They were the ones who were talking about these blogs. Their comments piqued my curiosity since apparently in this comic, Sweetie Belle goes bald, and I mean, she looks like a literal mole rat. Scootaloo abuses Apple Bloom, jokes about someone being a child diddler is made, and I kid you not, my main man Slender Man is here. So obviously I had to read this and make a video out of it because if I have to discover something weird, you do too. So enough of me talking about nonsense. What are these blogs about? Vocational Death Cruise was a 7-day challenge that anyone could join. The participants had to draw their characters in this cruise that they were quote-unquote invited to. So each day it would be a different challenge and groups would be made to determine what was happening to the characters on the cruise. This was basically one big collab that any blog could join in. As for Ask the Crusaders, it was a blog that was made by the same man who made the animation Don't Mind at Night that starred Button and Sweetie Belle, which is Giant Animation Studios. Which honestly surprised me since it wasn't something I was expecting to see, to be honest, but anyways. Ask the Crusaders was about how the Cutie Mark Crusaders, which consists of Apple Bloom, Sweetie Belle, and Scootaloo, were seeing people become famous online. That's when they got the idea to start a blog on Tumblr to have people ask them questions and become famous in hopes of getting their cutie mark. Most of the questions weren't bad, with many of them asking like innocent questions like who they have a crush on, asking for a hug, pretending to be the moon from Majora's Mask, and asking what they would do if they crashed into Equestria. You know, the usual. But of course, since this is My Little Pony that we're talking about, that won't stop people from being weird to literal children, with someone asking if they can see their plot, if you know what I mean. And it doesn't stop there, with someone asking them how babies are made, and Sweetie Belle knowing the answer, you know, answering the question, traumatizing the other two. And then there's another person telling them to make out to get their cutie marks, and then saying lesbian mares. Like, I can't make this up, I swear to God. Like, hold on, I need to call someone for these people, hold on. Hello? Yes? Police? And I'm just gonna say right now, obviously they don't know what these commenters are talking about, with there being a panel of them asking Applejack what a lesbian mare is. But it's just weird that people are asking these type of questions and making these type of comments to literal children, mostly since we don't know how old the users making these comments are. Even then, these characters are 6 to 10 years old. And I don't know any kid that age during this time even knew what Tumblr was, nor would they make these type of comments. And also, I don't understand what the creator was like, yeah, I'm gonna make these underage characters answer these questions. Like, I don't know. I just think it's weird seeing this. And the worst part of it all is that the blog just started. We haven't even gotten to the start of them getting invited to the cruise, guys. So before I go on a full-on tangent even more, why not talk about them getting invited then? Scootaloo runs into a mailman by accident and they see 3 envelopes with no sender nor receipt. So they decide to just read the letters because, you know, why not? And the letter says, "Dear Sir and or Madam, if you're receiving this message, congrats! You're one of a lucky few who have been chosen to preview Santa's most recent theme park, Vocational Death Cruise. As you should know, Vocational Death Cruise is a spin-off of Santa's world famous Death Toll Park. The popular roller coaster guaranteed to make you scream. Trademark. Now you have the opportunity to try Santa's newest attraction for free. This 7-day island cruise with a stop at the new Death Island will allow you to enjoy the comfort of a relaxing beach cruise with the thrill of an amusement park. Santa herself will be there to act as your tour guide and show you the rides, the casino, and the sharks. If you're still feeling hesitant, may we also mention that one lucky shipmate will earn a prize valued at over 2,000 bits? Don't be shy, come aboard. Your tickets are enclosed. Thank you for joining us, Santa's helpers." After reading this, the girls want to go on the cruise, but are trying to think of a way to get there since Ponyville doesn't have a dock and they don't know where the sea is. Scootaloo points out that rivers lead to the sea and asks Apple Bloom where the river in Ponyville points to, and Apple Bloom says that it points to the Everfree Forest. Scootaloo looks at the map and sees that they have to go south to get to the boat. So how do they get there? Well, easy. They use Pinkie Pie's party cannon to launch themselves on the boat, basically. And I mean, you know, whatever works, works, man. I don't judge. This now leads me to talk about day 1 of the cruise. Honestly, not much happened on day 1 for the Crusaders, other than them like landing on the boat and making it on time. This day was mainly used for the participants to introduce the characters from their blogs, for everyone to get to know who these characters are and... Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Is that Discord Hooves? Oh my god. This man came back to haunt me. He's everywhere. I can't escape it. I can't do this. I can't.
Man, I don't know what to think no more, man.
Okay, what's the de-escalate? No one's messing with your head.
Get out of me,
Nobody's messing with your head.
Get out of me,
Let's just put no.
Okay. Jokes aside, nothing much happens other than the introductions and like the characters interacting with one another. A whole lockdown happens because of some like icebergs and a lot of other unimportant stuff. So we can honestly skip to day 2. For the sake of this video, we're mainly going to be focusing on the Crusaders since, you know, this is about them and their blog. So yeah, on to day 2. Santa has crashed her ship into the island. On that note, you're here! Everyone goes to have fun at the amusement park before it gets too dark. Santa will call you in for dinner and the casino soon. On day 2, the challenge is that there will be 6 groups with each group going to different amusement parks. The Crusaders are in group 2, which is Carousel Skytram. We open with Apple Bloom being worried since she's scared of heights and Sweetie Belle wanting to go to the restroom. Suddenly the ride gets stuck, causing Sweetie Belle to get frustrated and Apple Bloom to get terrified. Sweetie Belle decides to take out her computer so they can answer questions from their followers. One of the commenters tells Sweetie Belle to not look at the waterfall, which, surprise surprise, causes her to look at the waterfall, making her want to pee even more, having her complaining about the ride stopping. This causes a grown adult to fight with this child about how she isn't the only one wanting to get off and wondering why they're stuck. Also, most of these characters that you see on screen, even the ones that you see like interacting with the Crusaders once or twice, trust me when I tell you, you gotta remember them because most of these are like a little important later on in the comic. But anyway, 8 hours pass and they're still stuck on the ride. Sweetie Belle decides to read the comments again, with the comments telling her to piss herself, with most of them telling her that they won't judge her and that they won't look, that there's no shame. What? Sweetie Belle obviously gets embarrassed and tells them she can't do that. So you know, she decides to hold it in and never mind, she pissed herself. This is something I wasn't expecting to see if I'm being honest, although it's something like horrible compared to like the other stuff people have made of My Little Pony characters. It's still pretty gross and weird to have this child, you know, pee herself, mostly with the comments encouraging it. After she pees herself, the ride finally moves and the comments start to shame her, saying how she should have waited and how gross she is. Like, y'all were the same motherfucker that told her to do it. Why are y'all shaming her now? Anyway, the girls are walking to the hotel, Scootaloo and Apple Bloom trying to comfort Sweetie Belle and telling her that she shouldn't be ashamed, that they still love her. Sweetie Belle starts to feel better about what happened, so at least she isn't getting shamed anymore. So you know, after that, they keep walking, trying to find the hotel. Scootaloo suggests that they take a shortcut. Apple Bloom questions Scootaloo if she's sure that's a shortcut. Scootaloo assures her that it's a shortcut since the map says so. Plus she's hungry and wants to get there to eat already. They then walk on some funny looking blue flowers. Oh man, I sure do hope that these flowers are safe and that nothing happens. They keep on walking trying to get to the hotel. And like that, this ends day 2 and we're now gonna move on to day 3. Santa has given everyone free coins to play in the casino. Who will win big? Or will you suffer at the hands of luck? On day 3, the challenge is that there will be 5 groups this time, with each block going to different places in the casino. The Crusader will be going to group 2, which is fine dining, to go eat some food. Obviously, since they are literal fetuses. I doubt they're allowed to gamble, unless you make them play Pet Simulator on Roblox or worse. Anyway, day 3 opens up with an animation this time. Santa announces through the speakers that the Crusaders are in group 2 and have to go to floor 1 to get food. Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle start to wake up. Once Apple Bloom sees Sweetie Belle's face, she starts to freak freak out and Sweetie Belle asks what's wrong and if she has something on her face. Apple Bloom tells her that's not the problem, that there's nothing on her face, aka her horn is gone. They both scream and then notice that Apple Bloom has wings, making them scream some more and waking up Scootaloo, who has a horn now. You get the point, there's a lot of screaming, they're freaking out. Apple Bloom paces around trying to think how they didn't realize that they stepped on poison joke flower. Sweetie Belle asks Apple Bloom if there's an antidote that they can take and Apple Bloom goes, well, I can't remember. Pegasus must be stupider than Earth ponies. Like, girl, one of your best friends is a Pegasus. You can just say that you don't remember. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying that now. Come on. You didn't need to say that a Pegasus is more stupid than an Earth pony. And it doesn't even end there because then Sweetie Belle goes that it's not a big deal and that they should go get food. And Scootaloo asks her how it's not a big deal since she lost her horns and has a useless thing on her head. Sweetie Belle then responds saying how Scootaloo couldn't fly and she couldn't use magic either way, so it's not a big deal. Like, my god, why y'all being little to each other? Like, damn. Anyway, they go get food and Apple Bloom suggests that they ask for help to see if maybe someone knows about the poison joke antidote. Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle decide to go ask for help and Scootaloo stays to get some food. We then see 2 ponies asking each other if they notice something off since people are starting to go missing. I wonder if that's important. Nah, I don't think so. Anyway, Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom go up to them and ask them for help. Apple Bloom tells them that she used to be an Earth pony and Sweetie Belle tells them that she used to be a unicorn. They both don't take them seriously since they think that they're just being kids and, you know, playing around. We cut to the 3 of them now being in the room with Apple Bloom saying how asking for help was useless since no one believes them and that they still don't know what to do to get cured. Apple Bloom asks Sweetie Belle to look up the cure, but Sweetie Belle of course can't do that at the moment because she's too busy playing Minecraft. I just know Sweetie Belle's the type to look at mod showcases and then get viruses on her computer trying to get the mod herself. After Sweetie Belle tells them that she's playing Minecraft, she and Scootaloo get into a fight over the game, with Scootaloo saying how the game is stupid and Sweetie Belle saying that it isn't, that it's a masterpiece and that she just doesn't understand. They get into a lot of fights over the game, but like, it's important, I swear. Anyway, while these two are fighting, Apple Bloom decides to sleep saying that maybe she'll dream the recipe, ending day 3. Midnight has fallen and Santa has rushed everyone into the hotel. She looks very worried. Strange things are beginning to happen. Bathrooms are flooding, walls are peeling, and the hotel's in a general state of flux. Rooms shift, doors disappear, and Santa is crying in the janitor's closet. What is going on? On day 4, there are 4 groups with the Crusaders being in group 2, which is Door Devils. The day starts with Apple Bloom asleep trying to think about the cure for the poison joke. Trying to remember the cover of the book, but her thoughts quickly get interrupted by screaming. Apple Bloom wakes up and asks what's going on, and Scootaloo says that she doesn't care since she's trying to sleep. Sweetie Belle makes a comment that someone is screaming and that it sounds pretty serious. Apple Bloom then tells her to check it out since she's trying to dream up the cure, and Sweetie Belle reluctantly says fine. The next part then cuts to Sweetie Belle being a black tar-like substance. And how did this happen? What led up to this? I have no idea. Mostly since these panels are from part 3 of day 4, I have no idea what happened to part 2 of day 4 since I can't seem to find it. I guess the creator either just erased the panels or just skipped to part 3. But going back, Apple Bloom then gets a rope that they used to tie themselves when they were using Pinky's cannon to get to the cruise, and then throws it for her and Scootaloo can pull Sweetie Belle up. Once they do, they ask Sweetie Belle if she's okay and she responds saying that she's fine. Apple Bloom questions what's going on with the doors and tells Sweetie Belle that she should go take a shower to get the tar-like substance off. While they're talking, Scootaloo closes the door and looks through the keyhole since she notices that something is off, which is that the door is now leading to another room, just that this time there's blood? That's not good. As Scootaloo keeps examining the keyhole, Sweetie Belle says that she's going to go shower, and right when she says that, a clump of her hair falls off. Sweetie Belle freaks out and runs into the restroom, with Scootaloo trying to warn Sweetie Belle to not close the door. But in the middle of trying to warn her, Sweetie Belle closes the door. Oh boy. We then see some Sweetie Belle's coat, I think that's the correct term, and mane falling off with her freaking out asking why did it have to happen to her. After that, we get a flashback of Sweetie Belle asking Rarity if she could go on the cruise with Apple Bloom and Scootaloo since this could be a way for them to finally get their cutie mark. Rarity tells her no and Sweetie Belle asks her why not. Rarity sighs and tells her that it's not a place for 3 fillies to go alone since an adult wouldn't be going with them and something bad could happen, asking her to promise that she won't go on the cruise, and Sweetie Belle promises her, but then immediately goes, yeah, it's so can I sleep at Dinky's house for a week? And Rarity just tells her that she can. And I'm sorry, no shade to my girl Rarity, right? But girl, your little sister tells you that she wants to go to a cruise for a week and you tell her no. Now all of a sudden she asks if she could go with a friend for a week. Like, I don't know, did that not sound suspicious to you? She really went, she wants to go to someone's house around the same time she wants to go to the cruise. Yeah, that sounds legit to me. Like, no! If I were Rarity, I would be a little skeptical about the whole thing since it's a little bit too coincidental. But that's just me though. Anyways, back to the blogs. We then see, oh my god, what happened to Sweetie Belle? What did they do to her? Anyways, after that, we go back with Scootaloo and Apple Bloom, with Scootaloo catching Apple Bloom up about the whole door fiasco. Apple Bloom asks Scootaloo how the rooms change every time they close the door, and Scootaloo tells her that she doesn't know, but that they lost Sweetie Belle. Apple Bloom tells her that they need to find her, and Scootaloo says that they can't risk opening the door since they don't know what's going to be on the other side. So she instead suggests that they need to find help, and they do that by, you know, jumping out the window. Not like that's any useful either, since the moment Scootaloo opens the window, it leads them to the kitchen. Scootaloo then gets mad and blames Apple Bloom for what's going on, saying, "We wouldn't be on this stupid vacation if it weren't for you chasing me into this post pony and finding those stupid letters. First, I lost my wings, and now Sweetie Belle's missing, and it's all because of you!" She starts calling her useless since she didn't recognize the poison joke and can't remember the recipe for the cure. Which, okay, I get that, yeah, maybe Apple Bloom should have recognized the flower since, I mean, she is the Core's apprentice. But I don't know why she's giving her so much shit since Scootaloo was the one saying, yeah, let's go take this shortcut. Even though Apple Bloom asked her if she was sure it was a shortcut, and to top it off, Apple Bloom even asked if she could look at the map, and Scootaloo straight up told her no because she was the quote-unquote leader. Like, girl, be so for real, it's also your fault. But I'm not gonna go on and on even further because one, these are children, and two, they're My Little Pony characters. I'm not even argue about this. Anyway, while Apple Bloom is trying to calm Scootaloo down, Scootaloo gets angrier and calling her horn to react. So when she yells at Apple Bloom saying that she hates her, she quite literally blasts Apple Bloom through the door. Scootaloo realizes what she did and looks at Apple Bloom in shock, with Apple Bloom tweaking out on the floor because of how powerful the blast was. Like, my god, look at her. Jesus Christ, Scootaloo. But enough of the bits of drama because in comes the doctor in the scene. Scootaloo asks who he is and he introduces himself as the doctor. And before anyone asks, no, this isn't the doctor from the Discord Who series. This is a doctor from a completely different blog. Just wanted to point that out there. Anyways, continuing with the scene, thinking he's an actual doctor, Scootaloo asks if he can help Apple Bloom. The doctor then tells her that he's not that type of doctor, but that they can take her to the infirmary. Scootaloo says that that's great and tries to tell him about Sweetie Belle, but it gets interrupted by a pony rushing in to ask for help since they've been stuck in the hallways. Scootaloo then tells her to fuck off since she needs more help than her. Again, if I mention certain characters, it's because they're important for a reason, kind of, maybe. Anyway, the doctor agrees to help Scootaloo and tells Derpy to take them to the infirmary. After all of this, now you're probably wondering where Sweetie Belle is and what she's doing while this is happening. So let's go back to her. Sweetie Belle is still in the shower, crying, wanting to go back home. Oh, poor. What the fuck? Yeah, so, some guy opens the door, which obviously makes Sweetie Belle scream. So this is what the comments must have said when they were talking about some guy being a child diddler as a joke. Alright, anyways. Sweetie Belle asks him what he's doing in the bathroom and calls him a pervert. The other guy then tells her that it isn't her bathroom, that it's his bathroom, so that's why she's in there. Then saying that he isn't a pervert. Sweetie Belle proceeds to throw stuff at him, calling him a pervert again. And after that whole ordeal, she starts crying. The guy sits down and asks her to not cry and he can help her find her friends. Sweetie Belle tells him that she can't go out looking the way she looks. The guy then tells her that she can stay in there then and that it's safer there either way. Mostly with everything that's going on, saying that she'll be okay. After this scene, it then cuts to Scootaloo, Derpy, and Dr. Hoops outside of the infirmary. Derpy tells him that Apple Bloom should be okay by tomorrow. Scootaloo feels relieved and starts thinking about Sweetie Belle, remembering how she reacted to the doctor and Scootaloo seeing her in the state that she was in, remembering Sweetie Belle crying and begging them to leave her alone. The doctor then tells her to rest up since she's been up all night, telling her that Apple Bloom will be okay. Scootaloo drifts to sleep, and the last thing she thinks to herself is hoping that Apple Bloom will forgive her. Exhausted by the escapades of the crazy door, the Crusaders slept for a day. The next day, this still counts for day 4 by the way, Scootaloo is with Sweetie Belle and tells her everything that happened after she went into the restroom. She then asks her to come out of the bathroom since no one will care about how she looks with everything that's going on. Sweetie Belle asks if she's sure about that. Scootaloo tells her that she doesn't know, but what she does know is that they need to stick together in case something like what happens with the doors happens again, saying that she doesn't even know how Apple Bloom is doing after the blast and that they need to go check on her. Sweetie Belle tells her that she'll come out as long as Scootaloo doesn't laugh at her, and Scootaloo promises. Scootaloo immediately proceeds to laugh at Sweetie Belle after she comes out of the shower. But anyway, hey, now we're finally on day 5, so yippee! Horror has been unleashed. The world has never seen such an evil, one that threatens to take the souls of all and send them to damnation. Hotel Navida is under siege. Spirits rise from the ground and some still carry their bodies. Clay guardians stand up and mobilize. Strange overgrowth reacts unexpectedly, attacking the spirits and invading thorn patches sprouting from the ground. Can you escape? Will you escape? On day 5, there are 8 groups and the Crusaders are in group 2. The description for the group says, "These wild plants are quite the issue, are they not? It will take more than brawn to impede their advances." Day 5 opens up with a little quote reading, "They grow much faster than bamboo. Take care or they'll come after you." That's a bit cryptic, but let's not dwell on that, you guys, and go with Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle. Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle are now on their way to see Apple Bloom. Sweetie Belle's all covered up and embarrassed by how she looks. While in Apple Bloom's room, Scootaloo explains to Sweetie Belle that she didn't mean to hurt Apple Bloom. She was just worried about what happened to her and was overwhelmed with everything going on. As they talk, Apple Bloom starts to wake up. The girls notice and Scootaloo asks Apple Bloom if she's okay. Upon seeing Scootaloo, Apple Bloom screams and jumps out of her bed, trying to move away from her and begging Scootaloo to stay away from her. Sweetie Belle tries to reassure her that everything is going to be okay. Apple Bloom begs Scootaloo not to hurt her, and before Scootaloo can say anything more, finds girl from a plant that was in the room with them and gets Apple Bloom. Thinking that it's Scootaloo again, Apple Bloom begs Scootaloo to stop using her magic on her and asks why she's doing this to her. Scootaloo tells her that it isn't her doing this. Sweetie Belle then tells Scootaloo to use her magic to help Apple Bloom. Scootaloo refuses, saying that she didn't mean to use her magic in the first place. The vines then get Scootaloo. Sweetie Belle looks through her bag to see what she can use to help them and finds weed spray. Sweetie Belle uses the spray and everything goes back to normal and the spray makes the vines become stronger. Now Sweetie Belle's caught. But don't worry, not all hope is lost because in comes the doctor and Derpy, here to save the day. And they also got caught. Yeah, they're f***ed. I'm just kidding because in comes the guy that Sweetie Belle calls a pervert from the roof. Sweetie Belle excitedly yells, "Ah, Mr. Pervert!" when she sees him. And this time no one gets caught because the guy starts to kill the plants by punching them and they're all free now. The doctor thanks him and they both introduce each other, which allows us to know the guy's name, which is Hawk, finally. Sweetie Belle also thanks him by saying, "Thank you for saving us, Mr. Pervert!" which annoys Hawk, telling her that he isn't a pervert, which makes Sweetie Belle put her hoof in front of him, telling him to stay back while calling him a pervert. Yeah, be used to this whenever Hawk is on screen because Sweetie Belle does not stop calling him Mr. Pervert. Anyway, Apple Bloom then runs out of the room, which has Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo get worried. But enough worrying about Apple Bloom because the doctor finds out how to kill the plants, which is by using salt. The doctor then goes to Scootaloo and asks what the plan is. When Scootaloo asks why he's asking, he says he's asking her because she's a unicorn. This annoys Scootaloo and asks him if that was supposed to be a racist joke, and then tells him that she's a Pegasus. And that's when the doctor tells her, okay, listen kid, like it or not, you're a unicorn. Unicorns can organize their mind better than any other pony. This situation is peculiar, and I need your mind since we have to work as a team and make it through. This motivates Scootaloo to organize her thoughts and make up a plan. She tells Hawk to go chase Apple Bloom and protect her. I don't know why you want someone that Sweetie Belle calls Mr. Pervert to go find Apple Bloom, but alrighty I guess. Anyways, she then tells Sweetie Belle to go back to the room since it's safer there and just in case Apple Bloom comes back. Meanwhile, she and the doctor and Derpy will go to the kitchen to get salt to kill off the plants. After this, we then get a little flashback of Apple Bloom's perspective. She looks at the hole that Hawk fell from and sees that there's a library. Wanting to find the book to find the cure, she leaves to find the library. Some vines grow from a pot about to attack Apple Bloom. But before we see if Apple Bloom makes it or not, we cut to Scootaloo asking the doctor what attributes other ponies ponies have. The doctor tells her that Earth ponies are stronger and have more stamina, and while Pegasi may be weaker, they have more agility and speed. After he says this, we cut to Apple Bloom parkouring the fucking vines like nothing, you know, cause she's chilling cool like that. But now that we know that Apple Bloom is fine, let's cut back to Scootaloo and the doctor. They make it to the kitchen, find all the salt, and decide to put the salt on every single plant in the hotel. And although it'll take them a while, it's the best option that they have. While they do that, and Hawk and Apple Bloom are in the library trying to find the book, we see Sweetie Belle in the room with just her socks on and looking over at the computer. She decides to go on Tumblr saying hello to the commenters to distract herself, with her telling the commenters that she lost her horn, her mane, and her coat, and even calling herself hideous, saying that Scootaloo and Apple Bloom are busy so she'll be the one answering the questions, saying that she's Sweetie Belle in case they don't recognize her. And most of the commenters were pretty supportive by saying that she looked fine, that everything will be okay. And nothing much happened, she mainly just answered some questions. After this though, we do get a panel with Sweetie Belle sleeping with a very questionable caption, not gonna lie. The caption reads, "Because you like me this way, right?" Which, not gonna lie, when I read this, it made me feel very icky. Like, I don't know. I don't think this caption was necessary, like, at all, if I'm being honest. The way the caption was worded and everything, and, like, the image, just very odd to me, to be honest. But anyways, let's just move on to the next day. In the forest, a stone of power resides. Meet up and decide who's going to take on the horror and his minions. But be warned, all is not well in the forest. A certain robot may still be wandering around. The day starts with Sweetie Belle waking up and seeing Scootaloo looking at the window. They say good morning to each other and Sweetie Belle asks what happened. Scootaloo tells her that she, the doctor, and Derpy took care of the plants. Sweetie Belle then asks her what happened to Apple Bloom. Scootaloo then tells her that she tried to talk to Apple Bloom about what happened, saying that when Apple Bloom saw her, she was scared at first and then got angry after, causing Scootaloo to now have a black eye, insinuating that Apple Bloom punched her. Sweetie Belle asks where Apple Bloom is now and Scootaloo tells her that she's in bed. We then see Apple Bloom looking serious with her reading the book trying to find the cure. Scootaloo tells Sweetie Belle that Apple Bloom doesn't want to talk to her anymore and says that she deserves it after what she did. Sweetie Belle suggests that they should answer their followers' questions. Scootaloo then tells her to grow up and that they can't help them in the situation that they're in. Sweetie Belle then tells her that although they can't help them, they still love them, and at times, love is the only thing that you need. By the way, keep that in your guys' mind because her saying that is very important later on. Scootaloo agrees to answer their questions, with Sweetie Belle starting the blog saying hello to everyone and getting ready to answer some questions. The questions are normal for the most part. A commenter then acts like a creeper. No, not those type of creeper, you guys. I'm talking about the Minecraft ones, you silly billies. This time, thankfully. Causing her to freak out and run away, leaving Scootaloo and Apple Bloom alone. A commenter then tells them that they should talk it out now that Sweetie Belle isn't in the room with them. They both try to apologize to each other and Apple Bloom then tells her that she's been acting stupid. Scootaloo tells her that she isn't, that she's been the one acting stupid. Apple Bloom agrees and Scootaloo tells her, "Hey, you were supposed to say that you were the stupid one now." With this statement, they both giggle and are now besties again. So yay! Hip hip hooray, guys! After this interaction, we cut to Sweetie Belle telling the commenters that the next day will be their last day on the island, and that they're going back to Ponyville soon. Before going to bed, Sweetie Belle wanted to answer one question, but Scootaloo and Apple Bloom told her straight up to shut the f up and go to bed. Sweetie Belle apologizes and turns off the camera, ending day 6, and now having us go to the very last day. Day 7 starts with Apple Bloom and Scootaloo brushing their teeth, getting ready to face the day. That's when they hear a scream coming from Sweetie Belle. Where does something happen, they run out asking what's wrong, asking if the plants are back, if the doors are acting weird again, or both, or worse! Sweetie Belle was crying because her computer died while playing Minecraft. Okay then, anyway, Scootaloo tells her that she needs to stop playing Minecraft since it's stupid. Sweetie Belle then tells her that it isn't stupid and that's a good game, saying that the Enderman just wants a hug and that's why they hold things. That rambling leaves Scootaloo confused, asking what she's talking about, and Sweetie Belle tells her never mind. After that whole conversation, the girls think about what they should do, and Apple Bloom suggests that they should go to the forest to find the herbs that they need to cure the effects of the poison joke. Sweetie Belle tells her that's their last day on the island, so why not stay in the room and wait until they come back and ask the Cora for help. Apple Bloom tells her they shouldn't risk it because the flower is called poison joke for a reason. AKA, if these motherfuckers wait any longer to get cured, they could literally just die. And so the girls go get ready to go to the forest and find the herbs for the cure. But before they could leave, they get a knock on the door. They go answer it and see Derpy and some pony melting, and The doctor? Scootaloo asks what happened to him, and he tells her that the vines got to him, which still leaves Scootaloo confused. But don't worry, you guys, since I did read a bit of Vocational Death Cruise, I was able to see what happened. After the doctor got caught by the vines, the melting pony, whose name is Inky, finds the doctor and just kisses him for some reason. And after kissing him, he responds as a new pony, so you know. That happened. There's also this post I found where this person answers this other person's question by asking how the doctor came back. They said that the mod for Inky's blog had like a life preserver thing, so she used it on the doctor, allowing him to regenerate, so the more you know. Back to the present time, Apple Bloom notices the flower on Inky's hair and asks her if she stepped on the flower too. Inky says yes, and Apple Bloom says that must have been the reason why she's made out of ink now. After Apple Bloom explains more about the flower to them, the doctor decides to, you know, just change the subject and tell them that there's no way that this could be a legitimate resort since it's way too dangerous for it to be one. How each passing day is more dangerous than the last, saying that ponies have been disappearing and it's to a point where he's not even sure they're gonna be able to get a ship back home, and that they need to find a way to get off the island to get home on their own. Inky then tells them that she heard the others talking about there being artifacts that are hidden in the forest and that they have strange magical powers that could help them stop the crazy stuff that has been happening. The doctor then tells them that they're going to go to the forest and find the artifacts. Apple Bloom chimes in and says that they're going to go with them. The doctor tells her that it isn't a good idea since it's too dangerous for them. Apple Bloom then tells him that she doesn't care and that they will go since they need to find some ingredients for the cure. The doctor suggests that she can just tell them what they are and that they can go get it for her. But before he could finish, she says no to him and that they have to go, mostly to show that she isn't useless, showing that what Scootaloo said to her did really affect her. Scootaloo tells her that she knows she's not useless and didn't mean to say that in the first place, and that she doesn't have to show anything. But Apple Bloom doesn't listen to her and she tells the doctor that they are going. And so our heroes are now in the forest trying to find the artifacts for the cure and trying to find the artifact. Oh my god, this is gonna be so much fun. I can't wait. This is gonna be so cool. And they are lost. Apple Bloom gets a bit frustrated, but at least she has one of the herbs that she needs for the cure, so, you know, that's a plus. But next to the herbs, the doctor notices a rock with a carving and... Wait a damn minute again. Is that what I think it is? Anyways, after the doctor notices the symbol, he also notices an arrow pointing in a certain direction. So he says that they should follow it and see where it leads them to. And so our heroes follow it, not knowing what they're about to get into. As they keep on going, even more time passes and it's now turning night. Apple Bloom finds the third herb and Sweetie Belle just wants to leave. Scootaloo tells her that they can't since they've already gone so deep into the forest, and the doctor agrees with this, saying that it wouldn't be convenient. Derpy then points out that there's a house over yonder. The doctor gets confused as to why there's a house in the middle of the forest. Sweetie Belle says that that's great since the person in the house could offer them a place to stay. Scootaloo chimes in saying that they could also offer them something to eat since they missed lunch. And so they walk to the house and they see the house is glowing red inside. After it stops glowing, Sweetie Belle asks if they are sure they have to go inside. The doctor says yes, and the rock carvings seem to have been pointing to the house. The doctor tries to open the door but can't since it's locked. So he tells Inky to go inside under the cracks of the door since she's made out of ink. Once she does, she opens the door for everyone to come in. The doctor says that it's now time to see if the artifact is inside the house. As they go to explore the house, the doctor tells everyone that everything should be fine if they don't split up. But I guess Apple Bloom didn't get the memo, because as they pass by a room, she notices a certain plant and walks in, with Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle following behind asking where she's going. Apple Bloom then shows them the plant and tells her that she found the last herb that was needed for the cure, so they can finally make the cure and everything will finally go back to normal. Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle get excited, but that excitement soon gets interrupted by music playing in the background. They turn around confused about where it's coming from, and that's when they see the ghost of Octavia playing the cello. Sweetie Belle remembers her when they were in the carousel Skytram since she yelled at her calling her a snob. They start freaking out and scream. They try to run away, calling out for the doctor to help them, but then 3 other ghosts appear in front of them, preventing them from leaving. The pony with light blue hair, whose name is Drizzle Drip, sees Scootaloo and remembers when she tried to ask for help when the whole door dilemma was happening, but Scootaloo told her to f off since she needed help first. She gets angry when seeing Scootaloo, telling her that when she needed help, she left her alone to die. Then the pony with sunglasses, whose name is Neon, sees Sweetie Belle and remembers when he was beefing with her in the carousel Skytram. He tells her that even though she didn't cause his death, he's still mad at her because she's annoying. Sweetie Belle then notices Hawk and is like, "Oh my god, Mr. Pervert!" by her getting yelled by Hawk and Neon, with Hawk telling her that he's not a pervert and Neon getting mad because he's getting ignored. Sweetie Belle asks Hawk how he died and tells her that Apple Bloom found the book and left, and the vines ended up getting him. Neon tells them enough talking and that they're going to pay for what they did. Octavia then tells them to shut up because they're literal kids. Like, motherfuckers really out here beefing with 6-year-olds, but moving on. Neon tells her that it doesn't matter and that they can't ignore them, mostly since they have to think about how he would react. The girls look at them confused and Sweetie Belle asks who's he. Octavia tells Neon that it'll probably be fine and that they can stay with him. Neon gets mad and tells her that he doesn't want to stay dead forever. Octavia then says that the Crusaders are young and he's not, even if he's acting like a baby. Sweetie Belle asks again what she's talking about. Octavia tells him that he is the guardian of the forest. Because of him, every soul on the island is trapped. He then says that he promised them that they could set them free if they found more souls. Drizzle Drip chimes in saying that they're not allowed to leave the house and having the girls there is an opportunity that they can't pass. Hawk tells them that there's also the factor that after the vacation, the island will be deserted, which makes Neon tell them that for this reason, they can't let them go. Sweetie Belle then suggests that they could try to talk to him and see if they could convince him to set them free. Octavia asks her if they would really do that and Sweetie Belle tells her that they would. With this, Octavia tells the others that they should show them the way. They then use their ghost powers, I guess, to teleport the girls, the doctor, Derpy, and Inky in front of the door. And the doctor opens the door and that's when he sees the artifact on display. They go inside the room and the doctor picks it up. The doctor then tells him that it's time for them to get going. Sweetie Belle tries to tell him that they can't leave just yet since they have to talk to the guardian, but gets interrupted by the door slamming shut. That's when we see who the guardian is. And it's none other than the main man himself, Slender Man. I knew that Slender Man, or well, in this case, Slender Pony, was going to be here, but seeing him still makes me giggle a little because it just surprises me that he's here. It's like, it's so random. It's like such a random cameo to see. But anyway, he just stands there, menacingly of course, and is silent for a while until, you know, Inky breaks the silence by basically insulting him, saying that it's horrible to kill it with fire, and even asking how it even exists and why. Even saying that it should be illegal for it to be alive. Like, oh my god. Miss Girl was not holding back on the insults. After Inky insults him, Slender Pony gets mad and grows his tendrils to attack them. The doctor tries to be a hero and tells Derpy that they should find a way out while he tries to distract him. He then talks to Slender Pony directly, you know, casually insulting him too while he's at it, saying that he doesn't know what he is and has never seen anyone like him before, but that he's glad he never has since he's a living nightmare. The doctor then takes out the artifact, telling Slender Pony what he's gonna do now, since he's oh so scared of the artifact. And is he? Hell no, because he just slaps the artifact out of the doctor's hand like as if it were nothing, and then proceeds to bitch slap the doctor while he's at it. And then Sweetie Belle decides it would be the right time to act like that one bitch from the kissing booth. Sweetie Belle yells at Slender Pony, telling him to stop. Slender Pony then goes after Sweetie Belle, ready to attack her. Oh no, my god! Sweetie Belle, watch out!
I love you!
What the hell? He just stopped after that? Are you serious? Yeah, so after Sweetie Belle says that she loves him, he stops dead in his tracks and puts his tendrils away. Sweetie Belle starts saying how he isn't evil. Bloo and Apple Bloom are confused about what the fuck she's even saying since he's literally killed people and is forcing them to stay here. Sweetie Belle then tells him that even though he did that, he's just misunderstood. In reality, he's offering a place for the souls to stay so they can be together and not alone, saying that he must feel alone and just want friends. Then, you know, since this is the early 2010s, she calls him Slendy, a name I haven't heard in a long time. She tells Slender Pony that he shouldn't force the souls to stay there since that isn't the right way to make friends and that they feel imprisoned that way. She then says that her sister told her that you have to be generous and kind if you want to make friends, to show others that you're a good person to get along with. Even giving others gifts is a nice gesture, and that he doesn't have to though. She then says that a gift to him will be a big hug. Then tells him to smile too, but since he doesn't have a face, he can't really do that, you know, making the scene a little bit silly and, you know, a little wholesome. After this, Scootaloo starts to narrate. She says that it was an incredible sight seeing Sweetie Belle give love to a creature that they thought was evil, but in reality was just a lonely pony, saying that she was amazing for doing so, and that although she wasn't useful every day, that day she was able to save them all. She then says that Sweetie Belle convinced the creature to bring everyone back to life that was trapped in the house. They then safely returned to the hotel. Once they returned, Apple Bloom mixed up the herbs and made a bubble blast to cure the side effects of the poison joke. Meanwhile, the doctor and Derpy went to go find other artifacts that were needed. Scootaloo says that the vacation was the hardest experience of her life, but that she's glad she went, since she was able to learn a lot more about herself and her friends, but she can't wait to go back home. She then says she still can't believe Sweetie Belle was able to befriend the creature, saying that this reminded her of something she told her the other day. Sometimes, love is the only thing you really need. Ending day 7, aka the last day of Vocational Death Cruise. So now that this arc is over, what happens now? The creators submitted their last post for Vocational Death Cruise. This basically ended the Vocational Death Cruise blog. The last post that was made on this blog was last year with the post saying, "Not sure why people are following this blog." Also, Chimisan / Santalestia hasn't been active on Tumblr since 2014, and from what I can tell, the internet in general since 2020. So Vocational Death Cruise is pretty much dead, but what about after Crusaders? Well, after they get home, they find flyers saying that they're missing. They're in the treehouse panicking about what they should do since they're all going to be in big trouble. Sweetie Belle tells them that they deserve to get in trouble and that this might be the end of the Cutie Mark Crusaders, saying that all they can do is go home, face the consequences, and hope for the best. In the next post, Sweetie Belle then tells everyone that she's grounded for a month. Just kidding! Rarity was just happy to see Sweetie Belle and shocked to see her bald, saying that hopefully the others will be fine if this is how Rarity reacted. After this, nothing much happens. And the only thing that happens after this is mainly the girls learning how to break the fourth wall to make it more entertaining for the followers, aka the followers can go with them on their silly little adventures without needing to be on the computer. And Slender Pony comes back, haunting Sweetie Belle's dreams every night. She doesn't know if Slender Pony, due to her dreams being very blurry, and has there been any more updates on this arc? Well, no. The last part that was uploaded was part 4. After this, there will be fewer and fewer posts relating to the Ask blog. And why is this? What happened to the Ask blog? Well, Jan says that he would be busy due to having projects to finish, so he's obviously not going to be working on any Ask the Crusaders posts. But then I saw another post of Jan answering a commenter, where the commenter talks about how they can't believe that Hasbro is doing what they're doing to this man, which is that Jan allegedly got into some legal trouble with Hasbro due to fair use. He made posts talking about the situation a couple of times, with him saying that he's trying to email Hasbro to get the situation sorted out and to go back to creating My Little Pony content, with many fans giving their support for him, hoping that this blog would come back. But years would go by and there would be no update. Editing cake nights here. Sorry I'm speaking kind of low, it's currently 5 in the morning, so yeah. Anyways, so I really quickly want to add more to the whole Janimation versus Hasbro legal trouble, because while editing the video, I basically realized that he uploaded a video talking about the situation and what he's been going through. Obviously not in full detail due to legal stuff, but he explains it as best as he can, and I'm going to be summarizing that video. But if you guys want to go watch the video, it is like 5 minutes. I'll be having the link in the description below in case you guys want to watch it after this video. But without further ado, let me summarize. So basically what ended up happening is that Janimations basically got a letter by Hasbro, with Hasbro saying that he basically couldn't upload any more fan content of My Little Pony, and that he basically had to take down his fan animations due to, you guessed it, copyrighted reasons. And obviously it was an oh shit moment, because half of the videos that he had on his channel were fan animations of My Little Pony. Some of them were basically related to the Cutie Mark Crusaders, some of them were fan animations of songs he has made with My Little Pony characters, and one of them was like a series I believe he was doing at the time of Button Mash, which is a character we briefly see in the show. So because of that, obviously he tried contacting Hasbro, and the whole situation was basically a back and forth type of ordeal, with Janimations trying to contact Hasbro, trying to see maybe they could form some sort of agreement, trying to basically be able to solve the situation, mostly because he wanted to get back to doing fan animations again. But obviously Hasbro wasn't really doing their part, in the sense that they basically kept sending him to different departments. They were not really giving him a straightforward answer, and whenever they would say that they're gonna have a conference with him and basically try to talk out the situation with him, surprise surprise, they never did. And he refers to these two people that I'm gonna mention right now, Person Person B and Person C. Person B was the main one that he was basically trying to contact when it came to the whole Hasbro situation, and Person B would tell him after the situation is solved, he'll most likely be able to upload some of his fan animations. While when he went to Person C, he was basically contradicting Person B by saying that there was a chance he was gonna have to take down all of his videos. And so basically the situation, from what I saw from the video, wasn't really ever solved, or at least that's what I got. Maybe it was, because after this, from what I personally can tell at this moment as of editing, I don't really see any conclusion that was basically solved, and the only animations that are basically on his channel currently is the Let's Go and Meet the Bronies, Don't Mind at Night, and his last button mash video that he ever made. So I don't know what else happened after this. This is all I know as of currently, so yeah. Until 2016, where there was a post made by Jan saying the following. Here's the thing, this blog has basically been abandoned the last month for various reasons. The CMD for my MLP animations being the main one, me wanting and having to focus on something else, and having to start creating and thinking about original stuff, which I'm still doing, along with losing a good chunk of passion for My Little Pony in general, and the overall need to change things around and turn the page. Another reason is that the CMC have their cutie marks now, but that could easily be tricked by implementing a different timeline or a what if sort of thing, which brought me to reconsider the whole thing and the directions this blog could take. First off, I think the CMC should not be the main focus anymore. Second, since I got Netflix on my country, I had the chance to finally catch up to the Doctor Who series. I'm a sucker for sci-fi stuff and time travel, so I admit it. That kind of inspired me and brought me some passion back by imagining some crazy stuff. I know some people might not like this idea, but it's really either this or this blog's death. My intent would be using My Pony Sona along with some OCs, plus actual characters from the My Little Pony universe to try to create some sort of interactive adventure story blog with a pretty strong Doctor Who theme. I'm confident I can make things work with this right amount of freedom, but I want you to know beforehand, if I go through with this, the quote-unquote walls of freedom of this blog and the My Little Pony universe will be twisted and broken in a way similar to when the CMC's quote-unquote learned to break the fourth wall thanks to Pinkie Pie in a previous mini story arc. Thanks for reading, Jan. After this post, a few more years went by, and in 2019 he made another post on Tumblr, the post being his last one on the platform, saying that he would no longer be on Tumblr. So now that he's no longer in Tumblr, where is he now? Although he hasn't uploaded on YouTube for 5 years, he's still very active on his Twitter account, just that he isn't posting anything related to My Little Pony anymore. But he's still working on animation and his own art. He's even on Cult of the Lamb. And now that I have all of this out of the way, why not conclude the video? So art-wise, it's honestly so well made. It literally looks like the My Little Pony art style, and I give props to anyone who can do that art style, since I tried many times when I was younger and it never worked out, let's just say that. Something I will say that I found weird, other than the comments and the questions people would leave for these underage characters, was mainly how Sweetie Belle was treated throughout the blog, with her going bald after being on some black substance, and then this panel with her sleeping and the caption just being very odd. And I didn't mention this panel either, but I'll mention it now. When the girls are on the ship and they are finally going back home, someone asks Sweetie Belle what she would tell Rarity about her baldness, and she thinks of a plan. The plan being that she would tell her that she's now a nudist. It was supposed to be a little joke of, they're a pony, so they don't wear clothes, now how would it work? So silly. I know to many I may be stretching, but personally, I find it a bit odd since, you know, she's a child, so there's that. Other than that, I also find the whole Mr. Pervert jokes odd, since I mean, when Sweetie Belle meets him, she walks in on her showering, and it's played off as goofs and laughs, when in reality, this man would be put on a certain list if y'all get my drift. But moving on from that, it honestly caught me so off guard, like the tone change when the Crusaders went on the cruise. It went from them going on like, you know, silly little adventures to them almost dying a couple of times and Screwloo being an asshole to Apple Bloom. So I was just mainly surprised, if anything, when I was reading this. But with that, it's finally time to wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, go ahead and give this video a like. And if you want to see more of my content, then go ahead and subscribe. Lastly, if you guys have anything else you'd like me to look into and make a video on, or you want to tell me your thoughts on this video, then tell me in the comments below. I would love to hear what you all have to say. I hope you guys all have a lovely day or night wherever you guys are from, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!